Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be doing 4 colored pencil portraits of some of my favorite characters, or maybe not some of my favorite characters, but some of the most notable characters from the TV show Queer as Folk. All of these illustrations were done using my Prismacolor Premier pencils. I have the 150 color set, but it's also honestly probably like 8 years old at this point, so they're definitely like not as good as they once were, but they still get the job done. I'm working in my Talons art creation sketchbook. This is the first page that I've actually worked on, and this is my first one of these sketchbooks. So this was my first impression of the paper. I did like it. I feel like it was fine, but I don't know. I didn't think there was anything special about it. Everybody online always is raving about this paper. They love the Talons paper. The Talons paper is so amazing, but I think it's just paper. I really prefer the moleskin paper, but it's expensive. So we'll see if I go back after I finish the sketchbook, but right now I'm wishing I had just spent the money on a newer moleskin sketchbook. However, that being said, I'm just excited for you guys to see these 4 portraits. I think some of them turned out really good. Yeah, let's get into it. So this character that I'm drawing right now is Justin. He is one of the main characters in the series. And I'm not really gonna sit here and tell you everything about his character because obviously that would be a spoiler, but I really like Justin. I know a lot of people don't. Well, actually, I don't know that a lot of people don't. I don't really engage with other fans of this show, like, outside of my friends that watch it. But I really like Justin. I feel like the main reason I like him, though, is because okay, this is not a TV show for children. Let me make this very clear before I go any further in this thing. In this voiceover, this is not a TV show for children. Do not watch this TV show if you are under 18 years old. Please, 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 please. It's basically porn. Don't watch it. There's a lot of sex. Anyways, I watched this show for the first time, only the first 2 seasons though, because then they took it off Netflix. I watched this show for the first time when I was in the 8th grade, and let's just say that I really took to Justin, and I kind of took it as a challenge almost to emulate him in some ways that were probably not great, you know? But because of that, watching it back as an adult, I do have a soft spot for him because I find him incredibly relatable, you know? At one point, the first time I watched it, I looked up to him because I did not understand what his character was about. And now that I'm an adult, I look back at it and I relate to him because we're very similar in a lot of that stuff, but also because he's an artist. And I don't know, I'm just always gonna be partial to like the gay artist character. I don't know. Like, that's who I was growing up. So, like, that's a character that I can relate to. And so I really enjoy Justin, and I wanted to start with him. And I think the main reason that I even did this page is because that I wanted to capture the fact that all of the characters called Justin Sunshine. It starts because of one character, but most of the characters sort of pick up on it. They call him Sunshine as a little nickname because of his smile. And so I wanted to capture his smile in a drawing that felt like sunshine. And I think I did that. I really do enjoy the way that this drawing turned out. You guys will have to let me know. Something I really like about what I did in this is using the blues and the purples. Again, I'm trying this thing. I've done it in my last sketchbook tour, which you might have seen, where I'm doing no brown, just blue and purple and like red and stuff to get those deeper shadow colors. And I'm really enjoying it. It gives a very reflected light look to that side of his face that I think looks really nice. And as I start to deepen up this shadow on his cheek, his smile is really going to start to come alive. And I think it looks really, really, really nice. And then just circling back to his smile and the fact that I wanted to capture his smile and that sort of warm essence of it that makes everybody call him Sunshine. Obviously, also, his blonde hair plays into that. Like, that's a huge part of it. But I do think that the actor has a very warm smile, and I wanted to try to capture that. And that's something that I've also been doing in the next few pages of this book because time has passed since I did this drawing. And something that I did in the last few pages of my last sketchbook that you guys saw in my sketchbook tour, I'm starting to want to play more with expression now that I really feel like I have faces nailed down and I can confidently produce a likeness. For a really, really long time, I felt like I was like good at faces, but I could not confidently produce a likeness. But now I have developed systems and a process to where I can do that. I'm starting to now play with expressions and getting those expressions correct while still keeping the likeness, because I feel like that is the next step forward. And let me tell you, it's really challenging, but it's also really fun. And that's something that's new to me. I'm usually the type of person where whenever something is challenging to me or I don't immediately succeed, I just kind of am like, well, I guess I suck at that. And then I just kind of throw in the towel and quit. And I find struggling with things to get better quite difficult, but I'm really enjoying it recently. I think picking up sewing again really opened up my eyes to like the fact that it's okay to suck at things and you have to, you know, sort of put yourself through the trial by fire in order to learn. And I was able to learn sewing really, really, really fast. And I've been able to then apply that sort of mindset of like, you know what, it's okay if I mess up because the next time it's going to be better to my drawings and my paintings. And I've been improving so quickly, and that's just something that has been super, super helpful, is that mindset switch. Another thing that I was also paying attention to a lot more recently than I have been in the past are my color choices and the way that I am choosing colors, not necessarily because they're what I'm seeing in my reference photo, but because they're what I want to put in the drawing. I knew that I wanted to have a very cool purple blue, like 3/4 side of shadow face, and then a very warm golden orangey yellow on the other side of the face. And so even though my reference didn't have that, that was something that I was intentionally trying to push, and just being really mindful about my values and my undertones in order to keep it looking 3D and skin-like, despite the fact that I didn't go into any of my browns or my French grays or any of that stuff that somebody who was doing photorealism might reach for. But then also on top of that, something that I have loved doing ever since I was like in high school, like when I was 14, watching, I think, Jacqueline DeLeon, is just way too much blush, like so much blush, just the high points or any of the bony parts of the body, so like the cheekbones, the nose, the eye sockets, or even if I'm doing full body, like the fingers, the shoulders, the collarbones, just blush it all to hell. Make it like bright fucking pink. I love it. I love the way it looks so much. And sometimes when I am working off of photo reference instead of just out of my mind, I don't include that, even though I feel like that's kind of a hallmark of my style, because of the fact that I'm too focused on reproducing the photo. But for some reason, with the colored pencils, it's a lot easier for me to just pick whatever colors I want and do that. And I'm trying to figure out how to apply that same mindset of, I can look at this drawing or this image where all of these shadows are in like warm terracotta, like burnt sienna sort of shades, but be like, well, I want to draw it blue and purple in the shadows, and figure out how to do that. I'm not, for some reason with painting, it's different for me. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I think because of just the way that paint mixes and stuff, it's different than the colored pencils. But it's definitely something I'm trying to work on, because I want to get a lot more expressive with my color. I saw somebody on YouTube, I don't remember their name, I saw somebody on YouTube say that they wanted to, I think they said like, tell stories with their color, or like make their color feel like it was like, I don't remember exactly what they said about color, but it was, they were very much like on the idea of the colors being very fantastical and made up, and the colors, like using colors to, I guess, push the emotions in the piece instead of just relying on like subject matter and stuff like that. Because I really love when I'm looking at art and it has super exaggerated or fantastical colors, even though I also really like doing stuff that's like really gritty and dark and just like black and white with my pencils. Something about those super bright, saturated colors that communicate feeling and emotion and whimsy are so compelling to me, especially when paired with the darker subject matter that I like to explore in my larger oil paintings. And what I mean by that is, I very much enjoy exploring like vampirism and cannibalism as a metaphor for like queerness and queer love, because I feel that as queer people, in the sense, the way that we have to build our families and our communities and love each other so fiercely and so unconditionally, because very often our families, our blood families, do not do that for us. Because we have to do that, that love and that family aspect feels so all-consuming, all-encompassing, that I think the cannibalism metaphor fits it quite well. But I also like, you know, vampires and cannibalism sort of go hand in hand. I like to use the vampire metaphor because obviously vampires have been a metaphor for queer people in media for so long, given the fact that it's almost always treated as like a virus that you can get during sex. I don't know why the video was cutting out like this. I really apologize. The time lapse is being weird right now. I'm sorry. But anyways, what I was talking about is, I just really love using that violent, bloody, gory imagery in juxtaposition with like the meaning of the piece being like loving somebody so much that you want them to be a part of you forever, or like the idea of internalizing pieces of other people and yourself in order to evolve and grow into a better version of you. I just think vampires and cannibalism is such a good metaphor for all of that, and I love exploring all of that in my work, which is why I might not be able to share a lot of it on YouTube, because it's not exactly PG or even really PG-13. It's like always R, sometimes X. So there is that aspect as well. This character, Brian Kinney, he's like a terrible person. He's like an actual evil, terrible person. And I'm only drawing him because of the fact that his story and Justin's story like are fully intertwined. Like one cannot be told without the other. And so of course, yeah, see, it's skipping around like this. I don't know why that's happening. I honestly, I thought it was because I had to put it, this one is in 5 times speed, and then all this one and all the future ones are, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow, that was crazy. Okay. Oh, what's going on? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Anyways, this one and all the other ones are in 5 times speed because of the fact that the video was just going to be way too long. The first one is in 4 times speed. I put these ones back in 4 times speed because I was like, that's crazy. I don't know what's going on there. I didn't realize it did it this much. I might not even be able to like, I don't know. I'm going to post it, but you guys are going to have to tell me if this is like too much, in which case I'm just going to have to do less drawings per video in order to not speed them up this much. But even when I put this one on like lower speeds, the only one that didn't lag like this was 2 times speed. And you guys, each of these portraits took me like an hour, sometimes a little more. I had to not even show you guys the sketching of the faces because that was like an extra 30 or 45 minutes. And I just couldn't put all that in there because this video is already 40 minutes long and I'm having to like speed it up so fast that it's lagging. So let me know if this is like lagging too bad for you guys, and I will genuinely just do less next time, and then like we'll figure it out. I'm learning. This is my first like actual drawing video that I've had to like put together from scratch, and it didn't go smoothly, let me tell you that. And actually I'm gonna tell this story because I'm running out of things to say and I still have like more than half of this video. So I'm gonna tell the story about how editing this video was awful. Right now, as I speak, as I record this voiceover, the video was supposed to have already been up. I was trying to do a weekly upload schedule on Thursdays at 11 a.m., but I procrastinated editing the video until last night, Wednesday night, and then basically the way I have to record everything is I don't have a camera and my laptop has not turned on in years. So I have an iPad and an iPhone, and that's it. And so I record everything on my iPhone in 4K. That way you guys will be able to see when it was sped up, but obviously that wasn't even fucking worth it because you can't even see when it's sped up, even though I did it at the highest frame rate and the best quality. But whatever, I did that, and because I have just random shit on my phone, you guys, I have so many photos on my phone. I have like tens of thousands of photos on my phone. I can only record and I'm not willing to delete them. I can only record for like an hour at a time, and then I have to go and upload it to my Google Drive and then like delete it from my camera and then delete it from my recently deleted, and then let my storage like refresh and catch up, and then I can record again. So I did all of these on different days, and in the night I uploaded them to my Google Drive. And then when I went to go download them from my Google Drive, the Google Drive app was just not fucking letting me. It was not letting me download shit, even though I had space on my iPad. It was not letting me download them onto my iPad at all whatsoever. And so I was freaking out, and I eventually was able to, I had to go to my Google Drive via the Google Chrome app and then download them there. And that took a really long time because I still ended up having to delete, like, I literally had to delete Snapchat off of my phone so that I could, like, airdrop myself a video that Google Drive, like, no matter what, was not letting me download. Because it had, like, offloaded from my phone, so I had to re-download it onto my phone to be able to send it to my iPad, and I literally had to delete Snapchat to make room. It was crazy. And that was today. And so I've just now gotten all of the videos in and edited, and it was really such a hassle. So if any of you guys know any like cheap but good cameras. I really need one. And also, I should probably just take my computer to the Apple store and get it fixed. But you guys, I live in Texas, and for some reason, like, the malls here are where all the conservative people hang out. Like, I don't know why conservative people love mall culture so much, but I get the most negative attention ever at all for being goth, trans, whatever, at the mall. It's actually crazy. Like, and the only Apple store that's not at the mall is all the way in rich conservativeville, so I also can't go there. The last time I went there, it was like severely not good. I was so uncomfortable, and so I don't really know what to do about. I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and go to the mall, but I will be bringing my boyfriend with me, because that shit's scary, you guys. I don't like the Apple store, and also they treat you like you're stupid all the time. I don't know, I just feel like they're really mean to me in the Apple store, and maybe it's because I come in there with stupid problems, but my shit breaks kind of a lot. Just this past month, or not even month, girl, my phone was broken for months. Okay, my SIM card stopped working, and I took it to it was like going SOS and then coming back on, and then going SOS and then coming back on, and I took it to the Apple store, and he was like, oh, it's like not a problem with your phone, like your phone is fine, it's like a problem with your SIM card, you have to go to your service provider. And so I went to the service provider, and they were like, you're not authorized to like edit the family account, like your father has to do that. And I was like, okay, cool, like my dad is not in the country on a work trip. So I just like couldn't do anything about it for months until this past Sunday. I was with my mom and my brother for Mother's Day. I found out that my brother is also verified to like make changes on our account, and so he had to go in and basically allow them to give me an eSIM card because my SIM card stopped working. So I have just now gotten back phone outside of the house privileges for the first time in months. It's been crazy. I missed so many texts. I got so many texts of people who didn't have my like Apple ID in the contact. So whenever they were texting me, it was just going to a dead phone number. Too much. This next character is Mikey. I honestly felt like I had to draw him. I don't know why, but I just did. I felt like I had to draw him because I really wanted to draw his mom, and I didn't know who else to put on the page with him because, you know, like Brian and Justin are in a relationship, so I put them on a page together, obviously, even though I hate Brian. But like, I really wanted to draw Mikey's mom. I love Mikey's mom, and so I was like, okay, I'll put Mikey on there. I could take or leave Mikey, he's fine. But I do not like the way that this drawing turned out. You guys are gonna see his mouth and his jaw are just like really, really wrong. I was drawing it at an angle because I'm still trying to figure out the best angle to draw these YouTube videos so that my head isn't getting in the way of everything, because I usually work hunched over my sketchbook like a fucking shrimp, and my posture is terrible, and I go to bed every night with my back hurting. But this time I was like literally leaning away from the sketchbook so I wouldn't cast a shadow over it or like get in the way. And so I was looking at it at quite an unfortunate angle, and it looks real chopped. I won't lie to you, but I'm leaving it in because it's realistic. Not everything everybody draws is good. And my last sketchbook that I showed you guys in my last video, I feel like was abnormally good. There were maybe only like 3 or 4 bad pages in there, which usually does not happen. I made a very concentrated effort to make every single page in that old sketchbook like stunning. And while I do kind of like that I did that because every page in there is stunning, it took a really, really long time. It took like over a year for me to finish that sketchbook. And if I'm going to be doing content creation for my art, like I simply need to pick up the pace. So I am trying to be a lot less precious about it. And, you know, typically once I realized that I had messed up the face, I would have stopped, gone to the next page, pretended like it didn't happen, drawn something completely different. And then once I had gotten over the like being upset that it didn't turn out the way I wanted, I would have just painted over it. So many of the paintings in that sketchbook that you guys saw are painted over something that I didn't like before. So that's a little fun fact for you. But I'm trying to just get better at letting it be, because I need to just fill up the sketchbook and just go, because obviously even the best artists out there have bad drawing moments, and not everybody needs to see every page. Of course, I like to show you guys my sketchbook because I think that that's fun, but I also, it's comforting to me when I see people online showing me their sketchbooks and they're like, hey, this one didn't turn out that great. Or even here's the process of me doing something that doesn't turn out that great, because it lets me know that the people that I watch and the people that I look up to also have not so great moments. And it makes my not so great moments a lot easier to handle, because like I said before in my video, I'm typically the type of person to like do something, and then if it's not good, I'm like, well, I'm actually bad at this and I should never do it again. But that's not the case. I just need to practice more, and I'm breaking out of that. I'm breaking free. This is the part when I say I don't want it. Anyways, I think that part of the reason that this drawing of Mikey didn't turn out so great is because I was tired, girl. It was late, and I don't really think I felt like doing it. I was kind of like, well, I'm trying to make this work. So I have to do my work. And I sat down and I did my work, and I didn't have like that love for the character that I had for Justin to make me want it to be like amazing. And I didn't have that amazing drawing. Like when I did Brian, I was like, well, this picture of Justin that I did is really good, so I need to make this one of Brian match. And so I was like really determined to make that one look really good as well. But then this is like, yes, it's right next to the one of Brian, but it's also a new page. And so in my brain, I was like, it's kind of a new page. And I was tired because I had already done Brian that day. I did both of these on the same day. I just did Brian in the morning and then like Mikey like late at night. And it just wasn't, I was tired. I was over it. And I think you can tell. It just isn't good. Let me actually take that back. I shouldn't say it's not good. It's just not what I wanted, and the proportions are wrong. You can't, like, there is no fighting me on that. Like, the proportions are wrong, okay? That mouth is crazy. Anyways, why is it skipping around like this? That actually bothers me so much. I am definitely gonna have to just film less per video next time in order to give you guys quality time-lapse footage, or get a camera and fix my computer, because this is absolutely diabolical and unacceptable, and I would be really surprised if there was anybody even still watching this after how bad it's lagging. Like, I'm just sitting here at this point talking about how bad the video is lagging, and you're just watching it lag. Like, I would have left too, sister, don't worry. Another thing that I sort of struggled with on this drawing specifically was the tooth of the paper. You guys, I hate to say it, but I might not like this sketchbook. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's not that it's bad, It's just that I just came off of the Moleskine sketchbook, which has such nice paper. It's so thick and you can't see what's happening on the other side. Like, I hate that when I turn the page, I can see what's happening on the other side. Ooh, that bothers me so bad. But what I'm talking about right now is you can see where the paper could not take the layering, and it starts to pick up the pencil too much, but then I can't take it off. There are little specks just kind of all over his chin and his jaw area, and even a few on Brian as well. And I don't like that. My Moleskine paper would never do that to me. You guys, I think I'm obviously going to finish the sketchbook because I've done good stuff in it already, and there's no point in buying another sketchbook if I have one that works. Like, again, the paper is not bad. You should still get this sketchbook if you're looking for one that's affordable. But I was just looking to try it out. I think I will be going back to Moleskine after this. Maybe by the time I'm finished with the sketchbook, my opinion will have changed. Maybe this is just my general resistance to change and the fact that I don't like it when things are different. I also am just now clocking that the back of his head is way too small, and that's part of why he looks so crazy. The back of his head is tiny, he has no cranium, and like a brain would not fit in there. Anyways, I think part of the reason I'm also disliking the sketchbook is I'm just resistant to change. I don't like it, and it's scary. And so the paper is different, and that means my drawing experience is different, and I do not like this adjustment period. Maybe once I've adjusted, I'm going to say something different, but right now I don't like it. And the last thing about Mikey before I move on to the last drawing of the video, I chose the wrong color for his background because I didn't realize that it's the same color that I needed to use on his mom's scarf. And so there's too much of this bright green later on, unfortunately. But I should have picked a different color. Now, there's Debbie. Ooh, how I love Debbie. Debbie is one of my favorite characters in this show, just because of how real she keeps it, and because she clocks these little gay boys. She clocks these little British cigarettes in a way that, it's just too good. It's too good. I love Debbie. She is my favorite character alongside Justin. She's just so funny. And so I had to draw her. I had to draw her looking so sweet and nice and amazing. And I really like the way that this turned out. I think it is slightly better than all of the other ones, including the first one that I did, in the sense that the highlights and the midtones have more variation and they have more color and saturation, and so you're able to pick out those white parts of the paper that I left a lot easier on this one, and it makes her look even rounder, even more 3D, which I really like. And I just think that in the other ones I was focusing so much on the shadows because the shadows on Justin turned out so good, and by the time I got to Mikey, the third one, I was focusing on the shadows so much that the pieces were suffering because I wasn't thinking about those highlights really at all anymore. I was just like, how can I get the shadows to be as good as they were on the first one? And on this one, I think I paid an equal attention to the highlights and the shadows, and that was really helpful for me because I was able to really capture a 3D round form to her. Her eyes in this also are in darkness, by the way, like in the photo. Like, I'm not just blacking out her eyes for no reason. They are in darkness in the photo. And I do think while it looks good, it is a little too different from the other three. I wish I had just used my artistic license to change that. But this is one of those instances where I'm talking about how I'm still learning how to divert from the photo reference in a way that makes sense for what I want to specifically communicate with what I'm drawing. You know what I mean? This portrait also took me the least time out of all of them. And I think that's because I had learned all of my lessons from the previous three, and then I could really apply them to this one in a efficient way. I knew what colors I wanted to put where to evoke what thing, and I knew how I wanted, like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew what I was doing. I didn't have to make any of those decisions while drawing this. Those decisions had already been made in previous drawings, and I could look at them and see which ones worked and which ones didn't, and just pluck them and apply them to this drawing. And I think that's part of why it's working out so nice. Like, even as I watch this jumpy, terrible time lapse, I feel like I'm watching her come together in a way where she's like, I can't really describe it in any other way than I'm watching her come together and like be sculpted out of the paper. Like, I'm watching her form become 3D. And I think that the same can be said for the first one and this one, not necessarily the other two, because on those two I got too focused on replicating the beautiful shadows from the first one, and I wasn't focusing on how can I make this drawing beautiful. I was focusing on how can I make this drawing look like that drawing. And this time around, it had been honestly a week or two since I had done those other three drawings, and so I didn't really have them fresh in my mind of something I needed to compare it to. The last piece I had done was in gouache. Like, I didn't have anything that I fresh in my mind of colored pencil that I was comparing to, so I could just be fresh in the same way that I did with the first one. And I think that that's why the first and the last piece on this sketchbook spread are the most successful. Now, going into this, her hair was a little intimidating to me because it's short, but it's got those like fluffy Nana curls is what I call them, like, you know, the roller set like helmet hair. It's that sort of hairstyle, which I find quite difficult because the shadows are very unpredictable, and I kept losing my shadows as I was layering, which was really annoying. But I think it turned out. I think I was just, in the beginning, you're gonna see, afraid to get too dark, but really the darkest values on this reference were in that piece of hair that's behind her 3/4 turn. And so once I really put those darker values and then brought all the other values in the hair down to, I guess, not match in value, but like match the level to which I brought it down, bringing it all down the same percentage, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Once I did that is when the hair started really coming together. And also, I don't know why I chose this permanent red color for like her ginger. I was like, oh, this is gonna give it red, but ginger hair is more often orange than it is red. So then I went in with this pumpkin orange color, and it really saved it. But I honestly think the star of the show in this whole video has been Black Cherry. Black Raspberry. Black Cherry is too red. Black Cherry is what I'm using on her hair right now, but Black Raspberry is the purple that I used on the shadows and all of their faces. And Black Cherry is just too good. Wait, actually, I don't know, you guys. Black Cherry and Black Raspberry were both used in these, but they're different colors, but they look really similar, but also one is more reddish brown and one is more purple. And I can't remember right now off the top of my head which is which, but just know I like both of them. And if you want to achieve similar colors to me, the blue is light cerulean, and the purple is either black raspberry or black cherry. Thank you. And yeah, that's it. This is my final page. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment what's your favorite one.